this is to talk a little bit about my research proposal for Standard 4A. So the purpose of my study is to, on the one side where it's light colored, the white is my original ideas, and on the other side of the box is how I've narrowed it down. So the purpose of the study is really to get a comparison of the depth of knowledge achieved in classrooms with bring your own device policies versus one-to-one technology in rural schools in the southeastern United States. So my topic was really broad at first, and it was hard to narrow down because I wanted to look at so many aspects of device policies. So this really, it helped me to look down and narrow it down. So we're looking at problems in rural technologies between these two choices, especially in the bring your own devices. We have access, our age of devices, and funding. These are big problems that impact which device policy the districts are choosing. So, and then we also have the issue of teacher perceptions of GOK achieved. You know, most teachers think they're doing great with technology, and there is a difference in what we can do with the technology. And do these DOK levels, as they're changing, are they looking at teacher versus student-centered classrooms? So we have this question about which way is more effective. And so I spent a lot of time with Dr. Lewis discussing how I was going to narrow this down and looking at these perceptions of how the teachers view their classroom as it being more effective or not. And this really does have a huge impact on student achievement, is if the teachers are using the technology and how they're using the technology, really focus on whether it's student-centered or teacher-centered, impacts student achievement. I do have this definition of depth of knowledge, and I did show these technology matrix, the matrix for the technology use that I had found as I was doing research. There's not a whole lot of research on this topic, especially doing a comparison of depth of knowledge with different types of technology use. All of these topics have been researched standalone, independently, but no one has gone through and really taken a look at a comparison about how all of these come together. And that's really what I wanted to focus on, is how do these things all work together. So again, these are my research variables. There are dependent variables going through. And again, we have to look at these independent variables and how we have access to the standardized technology in the classroom versus the random technology in the classroom. Are the students' devices functional? That's a huge issue. What's the age of the devices? Even the teacher comfort level with technology. There's a lot of research that shows that if teachers are comfortable with technology, they'll use it more in the classroom. So this goes into impacting the student achievement, because teachers, if they're enthusiastic about technology, will use technology in the classroom, will find ways to reach those deeper into that depth of knowledge with technology, even one-to-one devices versus BYOD. If they're passionate about it, they will find a way to make it work. So we need to look at some ways to consistently do this and to help get this out to other places so they can make informed decisions about this. And that's really about what my project wants to do, is take this to districts so that they can look at their device policies and make the best policy decisions for their students, especially in areas where they may not have access to the same levels of technology or even the same funding levels. How are we going to bridge this gap for these students so they can have access to these technologies and do all of these wonderful projects when they just have an old cell phone? How does that work? What can teachers do to make this work? And that's really where I want this research to go towards, is answering those questions and finding ways to get to that next level.